campers. Today we're going to have a little bit of a play with some makeup. Now, as you might have observed over the last few videos, I haven't got my glasses on anymore. Did I get contacts? Nope. Klutz here just broke her glasses right on the hinge and I can't get them repaired. Basically, I need a whole new prescription, need to get my eyes tested, can't get in anywhere. I'm not classed as being like a priority appointment because I've just broken my glasses and need a slightly stronger prescription, most likely. So it was a case of, meh, it's fine. So I've just sort of had to duct tape up the corner where the hinge is and hope for the best. However, because the hinge is broken, they do keep sliding down my face, which doesn't help when you're trying to film. Honestly, it makes me glad that I haven't got to drive anywhere for like long distances while this situation is around, because I honestly wouldn't be able to do it, and obviously if I'm driving at night, can't wear sunglasses, can I? Thankfully, my sunglasses are in the correct prescription and aren't broken, so walking around with those on is fine. Either can't really film with them on, can I? Because you won't be able to see my face properly with my proper sunglasses like covering half of it. So recently I've been having a sort out and I've come across, stuffed away at the back of a drawer, some makeup that I when I was at university, and tucked away at the back of this drawer, still in their boxes, literally brand new, were 5 of these, which are the Mark liquid lip lacquers. I've got 4 that are matte and 1 that's shiny. So I thought we'd have a little bit of a play with these and see what they look like on my face. First up is this one, this rather lovely purple colour, which is the matte liquid lip lacquer, and it's in shade Plump Up the Jam. I think I bought these about 2 years ago, possibly 3, and they've literally just sat at the back of a drawer and done nothing. Yeah, so, ooh. This one's quite a lilac-y colour. It smells. It doesn't smell unpleasant. It just sort of smells a bit fruity, but also like a bit makeup-y. You've got like a little, I think it's called a doe foot applicator at the bottom. It's a bit more triangular though. A doe foot's kind of round at the top and this one's slightly more triangular. So let's see what this colour looks like on my lips. So campers, as you can see, it's quite a bright bluey purpley lilac-y colour. I'm not quite sure whether this colour suits me, you know, it's sort of a bit, yeah, not sure. It might be the kind of shade that I wore like fancy dressy or for Halloween or something. It applies okay. The formula is a bit thin, so you kind of have to put it on and then put another coat on. This is the first coat, looks a bit sheer. It's drying okay. It is starting to feather at the top where my Cupid's bow is. It does look quite uneven as well. I mean, surely a match should be a bit smoother than this. It also looks like it's drying right down and cracking slightly whenever my lips are moving. I have a feeling that this formula, if you wore it all day, will be quite dry. Obviously, I'm going to test out all of these in one go. I'm not going to wear it all day. Wouldn't last me all day anyway, I drink fat in. As it's drying down, it does seem to be getting like brighter and brighter. I'm still not overly sure of the colour, you know. I don't think it quite works with my undertones. I think my undertones are very blue and this is like very purple. Perhaps I'm just not used to seeing myself wear this shade. I have to say though, it does make my eyes look quite blue. Is that the blue in my eye? I'm sure at one point I had hair that was this colour. I'm sure I did. Probably did, you know. Long time ago now though. But I have noticed it's starting to gather in the corner. It's kind of like peeling off, it's all sort of stuck, and then it's like peeling off like in the corners. My thoughts on Plump Up the Jam. Well, it's a very bright colour, however I don't really think it's for me, this one. I'm not quite sure where I'd wear this. It's quite a bold colour. I think for a fancy dress kind of thing it would be okay, but for normal everyday wear, yeah, I'm not quite sure I could pull this colour off. I mean, while it is bringing out the blueness in my eyes, I'm not quite sure it really goes with the rest of my face. Something about this colour lips and like my skin tone doesn't seem to be quite right. Somebody will probably correct me in the comments and go, oh no, it's fine, it's a cool undertone, and you've got cool undertones as well, so it's fine, it looks fine, it suits you. I'm not sure. Personal preference, I think I'd choose something a little bit less purple if it were me. The formula as well, I can feel it drying out my lips, and my lips still feel sticky. Like in the corners as well, it feels like it's all gathered, and it feels like there's like a whole ridge of formula that's stuck in between my inner and outer lip. It just feels a bit odd. It feels like there's something stuck like on the lacquer itself, or it's just all clumped together, particularly in the corners of my mouth. And yeah, this one feels a bit odd. My next one, again, it's a matte formula, and it's a little pinky purpley one in the shade Fabulosity. This one looks quite similar to the next colour that I have, which is Maneater, and again it's matte. They sort of look like they're a slightly different shade down from each other, like the next shade along, but hey, it's sort of in the middle. This one sort of naturally falls in the middle of these two, so perhaps that's why I bought it, because I sort of wanted one that sort of sat in the middle. But hey, right, let's have a go with Fabulosity and see what it looks like. So this is Fabulosity that I'm currently wearing. It's a lot less sheer than Plump Up the Jam. I actually like this colour a lot more. I think it suits me a lot more. The formula again does feel kind of sticky. Hopefully it will dry down a little bit firmer, but it doesn't feel like it's set on my lips yet. Perhaps this formula will take a little bit longer to dry, but yeah. Actually, I have to say I much prefer this particular colour to Plump Up the Jam. It suits my lips a lot more. Also, while it's drying, it doesn't feel like it's cracking on my lips like the previous one. Perhaps there's slight differences in the formulas with the colours. It also doesn't look like it's feathery either. I do know it has smudged, but I think that was more down to human error than anything else. It also doesn't feel like it's collected in the corners of my mouth and sort of dried in clumps like the previous one. So yeah, I'm quite happy with this one. This would definitely be one that I bought, kept, and would wear in other videos or in everyday life. So this one is definitely a keeper. The next one, again, it's a matte one. This one, Maneater. It's slightly darker than Fabulosity. Slightly more pink as well, like a burgundy, pinky kind of colour. But it's still kind of purpley. I mean, tilt it round in the light and it definitely looks purpley. This one actually looks quite dark when you take it out of the packet. It's a lot darker kind of purple. This one is Maneater. It's a lot darker than Fabulosity. I'd say that this one was definitely more of like an autumn shade. Yeah. The formula of this one seemed a lot wetter, and it seemed to sort of slide on my lips rather than sort of stay where it was. and it is actually starting to feather a lot like Plump up the Jam did. Fabulosity didn't do that though. What I am noticing is that where it's bleeding on my lower lip, it's kind of like a brighter pink. It's like a really bright kind of pink rather than a purple. So whether it's just one pigment that's slightly more unstable than the rest. But as I was saying, the formula for this is a lot wetter than the other two. I did manage to smudge it kind of down here, try to fix it, and it's kind of stuck to my skin. Yeah, perhaps this would be something that I'd have to go in and correct with concealer afterwards. Human error, cut, as usual. But I do like this colour. Again, it will kind of be one that I did wear, but it's more of a nighttime-y kind of shade rather than a daytime. It is a very, very bold colour though. It's quite standout. Obviously, I probably wouldn't turn up to a job interview wearing this colour. However, if I was just going to like a uni lecture or something, then yeah, I probably would get away with it. It's very autumnal. I tend to wear quite purpley shades of lipstick during the autumn. And yeah, very autumnal, very berry kind of shade. If you like your berry shades, you'll like this one. I definitely wear it again, and it will definitely be going in my keep pile. Now, the next colour I have to try is a nice deep red one, almost like a burgundy wine kind of colour, and it's called Passionate. Yeah, I think at some point my foundation has managed to like leak all over the top of this one. The box was kind of all covered in it. Not quite sure when or where that happened, but thankfully the rest of the box is clear. It just seems to be this, it's the main casualty. It's very dark kind of red. I wonder if it's going to be actually that dark once I put it on my lips. Maybe, maybe not. Now I've taken it out of the container, it actually, on the applicator, it looks very purpley. There's like a kind of purple tone to it. It's almost like the colour of red, like a red wine, a very Bordeaux kind of colour. Well, campers, it's very dark, isn't it? I have to say, when I'm looking at it in the mirror in this lighting, it looks almost black. It's that kind of deep, deep wine coloured red. I was correct when I said it was kind of like a Bordeaux-y kind of red wine colour. This formula is very wet. When I was trying to apply it, it kind of went everywhere, and it's all managed to smudge itself, and it's all started to bleed into the skin around my lips. I have to say though, it is drying very smooth, and this one doesn't seem to be absorbing all the moisture out of my lips. It just seems to be sort of drying as it is. It's also not as sticky as the other three, which is a good thing. Now as it's starting to dry, it actually looks slightly lighter. It doesn't look quite as black as it did when I first applied it. It just looks like a very dark, winey, cherry kind of red colour. I suppose you could build the colour up of it if you applied a couple more layers, make it more of a blacky kind of colour. So I do kind of like this one. I do, however, wish the formula was a bit less wet, as it would make the application a lot easier. And obviously with my pale skin, it bleeding into the skin around it, makes for a right mess. You definitely need like a good few coats of lip liner for this one, I think, to try and hold it all into place. Thankfully, my transparent one should do the job. So my final one is a liquid lip lacquer shine. Oh, it's glittery, dark and glittery. And this is in the shade Dark and Stormy. It's like really glittery. Ooh, I wonder if it'll be that glittery when I've actually got it on. Ooh. So this one is a very dark kind of colour. This one kind of lives up to his name. It's like a very darky red colour with bits of glitter in it. Ooh. As I take it out, it looks almost purple again, but this is like very purpley and it's not very shiny on the applicator. Oh, it's a dark one. It's a very dark one. Well, campers, this is Dark and Stormy. Well, it's very glossy, and now I've got it on my lips, it actually looks more purple than red. It's kind of a purpley brown, like a maroony colour. I have to say this gloss is like really sticky. It's sticking like the corners of my lip together and I don't like it. As before with the others, it's kind of bleeding into my skin again. See, this one looks awful because it's literally just travelled straight up the line on my Cupid's bow. It's also seemed to have dried down a bit in some places and it's made it look quite patchy. I'm not a fan of this one at all. This is not going to be one that I keep. This is just completely the wrong shade for me, I think. It's just, no. Again, I think it'll be okay for a Halloween-y kind of shade if I want it like a dark black shade. But yeah, this just isn't for me. I have to say though, it is very glittery. I was slightly concerned that because it's supposed to be a shine, so it's glossy, that you wouldn't quite see the glitter. But you do, there's like bits of gold and silver, which kind of looks okay. This one is also transferring onto my teeth, which is not great. Yeah, I will try not to smile. So then campers, now that I've tried all of these shades, my final thoughts. Now, a lot of these colours aren't really my cup of tea. There are a few that I use again, obviously a few that I wouldn't. As I said, the formulas of these could be better, not really my cup of tea. I prefer something a bit thicker, obviously. I know it's supposed to be a lacquer, so it kind of is supposed to be thin. However, I just prefer something a bit thicker and a bit more substantial, more like a cream in texture, but that's my personal preference. So obviously I prefer things like stick lipsticks rather than liquids. However, the colours of these are really good, like they're really bold, really bright. I mean, even the shine one surprised me with how glittery it was. I thought it would be just a bog standard gloss, but it's added glitter. I mean glitter that doesn't go everywhere. Oh, excited. Avon still make these and these are still available and there is like a whole shade range. Obviously these are just the 5 that I had in the back of the drawer. You know, I might actually have a little browse in the Avon book and see what colours they have now. Oops. Perhaps I might look at their full shade range again and buy a couple that suit my skin a bit more. Like nowadays I tend to prefer reds, like more natural pinky tones, rather than bright purples. But if you are a fan of your bold and bright coloured lipsticks, Avon have like a whole shade range in these things, both in the mattes and the glosses. You might find something there for your cup of tea. Usually these things are on offer. I don't think I paid full price for these. I think they were on offer out of the main brochure, and I bought them for like £6 each. Obviously, there probably are better ones out there on the market than these. However, I tend to like Avon makeup because my skin doesn't react. My lips are also very sensitive and none of these really aggravated my lips. Yes, okay, some of the matte ones did feel a bit drying on my lips. So I'll probably put a balm on first, do the rest of my makeup, then apply one of these. So there's there's like extra moisture there. I think my lips are quite dry anyway, and applying a matte probably doesn't help that. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a little thumbs up. Don't forget to say hi in the comments. And if you want me to make another video about makeup again soon, don't forget to let me know as well. If you'd like to see more of these kinds of videos, click the subscribe button. And hopefully I'll see you for the next video. Bye!